So hello everyone, welcome to this another video of this channel. I'm Abhishek Verma and now you're watching another video of a Spring Data JPA series. In today's video, we are going to create a real world application with the help of Spring Data JPA. Now if you remember, in the previous series, that is Spring Basics with Spring Boot, we created a real world project known as Pakistan from scratch. But at that point of time, we were not sure how to interact with the database, how to perform the database queries, and hence we made usage of the dummy database. But now we are sure that how to interact with the database as well as how to perform different queries using Spring Data JPA. So we are going to download the same project and upgrade it with Spring Data JPA. Besides this, we are also going to enhance it with the features of Lombok as well as Mapstruct. We are also going to upgrade the project from Java 17 to Java 21. We are also going to upgrade the project with the latest version of Spring Boot. During all this process, we will see if everything goes smooth or we are going to face any issues. If there are any issues, then how to tackle those issues. But before this, one more small thing is that till now, we have not yet reached 10,000 subscribers before 31 December 2024. Because the reason is that most of the time you are watching the videos but you forget to subscribe. Or even if you subscribe, then you don't watch the upcoming videos on time. And hence YouTube is not going to recommend my videos. So what you guys need to do is you need to like the video, you need to subscribe to the channel, as well as you need to share it with your more friends. Because the more bigger our community is going to be, the more better we are going to have the discussions in the comment sections. And then believe me, I will keep on creating more videos for you for free of cost. So if you feel I'm doing good work in the field of Java for free, then please subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends and help me to grow. So now without wasting more time, let's directly get started and see how the things are going to work.
So now we are in the IDE, but as you can see that I'm not having the previous project available with me, because many times people comment in the channel that they were not able to download the code from my repository. So I thought better to show that part also, that how you can download a code from my repository. So for this, you just need to go to this particular one. So here, as you can see, this is my repository link, and here all the repositories are public. So for the Spring Data, all the demos are available. For Spring Basics with Spring Boot also they are available. The interview questions list is also available here. Then we made something like Har Ghar Tiranga, so that code is also available. Then multi-threading code, concurrency, generics, collections framework, exception handling, lambdas, streams, optional class, datetime API, JDBC, Maven, Hibernate. I mean, that's a huge list, guys. Okay, so everything is available. The code is available for free. If you want to learn the concept, then parallelly you can watch the video also on my channel. So yeah, everything is there. But for today, we just need to go to this particular one, Spring Basics with Spring Boot. So let me just click here, and it is just a public repository. So now here you can see that in the previous series, we updated this and we were having the demos from demo 0 to this last one, that is Pakistan, which was our capstone project. Now many times it happens that you are not sure that which demo you will be able to find what, or in what sequence you should watch. So then also this readme is available to you, which is almost equivalent to my playlist. So whatever is available here, same is available in my playlist. So both of them are in sync with each other, and each and everything is mentioned here. Yeah, the only thing is you need to click on them and you need to subscribe my channel also, and you can follow me on Instagram, you can connect with me on LinkedIn part. Now let's quickly go back here, and what we will do is we will just click on this one. So see, one option is that you can simply download the zip. So you can download the zip folder, you unzip the things, and yeah, that thing is also done. Another option is that in case if you don't want to do this, just copy this particular one, and now you go to a particular folder in your laptop or a desktop. So let's say we are here. Now what I will be doing is I will go to this show more options. Here I'll go to git bash, and here what I will do is I will simply say git clone, and here I will be pasting the things. So as of now I'm just doing it for the temporary purpose, just to show you. Otherwise you can make proper folders and you can keep the things in the proper place. And you see, I mean, it was so easy to download the things here. Yeah, there was no difficulty at all, just a single command. The only thing is you should be able to open the thing first of all in the Chrome browser. If there it is working, here also it will work. So you see that it will directly provide you this folder. In case if this is not working, then another option for you simply is you click on this download zip folder. Then also it is going to provide you the zip folder, and then it will appear something like this. So both of them are almost equivalent to each other. The only option is this one is more preferred way. Now here you see that we are having all the demos available with us, and yeah, that's it. Now from here I need to select this Pakistan. So what I will be doing here is that I will just double click on this and open it, and I'll copy this one. Now I will go to my this particular IDE, and here I'll go to this file. Here I will say something like import. Now this is a Maven based project, so I will go here and I will say existing Maven project. Now I'm just showing you for this project, but the same thing you can do for any other project also. And believe me, it's that simple. So you just do it, and here you say browse. Otherwise you need to find that. Now since I gave the link of the particular project, hence only one pom.xml is available. In case if you will remove Pakistan from here, you will give the location for the full that particular folder. You will be able to see pom.xml for all the folders, and you will be able to add all the projects here in just a single go. Then you just click on this particular one, add projects to working set, so that it gets added here, and then you say this finish. Now you see it's getting imported here. So yeah, this is done. So that was it, guys. Yeah, and here we are able to say this Spring Basics with Spring Boot Master, because it is still directly connected with that particular repository. Yeah, so if I will make any changes here and then I wish to push, then that thing also I can do directly. In case if you don't want to link, so you can just go here, and here we will be able to find some option like this, and you say disconnect. So now I have disconnected it with that particular repository. Yeah, because I don't want to touch that repository and I want to make changes in my a separate repository. Yeah. Now here we can see we are having this Pakistan. It's a Spring Boot project with DevTools. So let's quickly go here, and first of all let's go to its this particular one, Pakistan UML diagram, and let's see that how the things are going to look like in this particular one. Yeah. So here let me just try to increase the size. Yeah, so this one seems good. So here first of all you see we are having this input util here. Okay, so with the help of this we are having all the methods where we are taking the input from the user, and most of all the methods are static in nature. Then we are having this demo class which contains our main method, the main Spring Boot method. So this is going to be my main Spring Boot class. Then from here I'm having two layers. I'm having basically two services. So one is owner service, other one is the pet service. So owner service is having these methods, which are almost like 3 and 3, 6 methods. Pet service is having 2 methods. Yeah. And then we are having their implementations also. So as you can see, these implementations are available here. Then from this implementation, we are going to the repository. Now, if you remember that this is the project which we created in Spring Basics with Spring Boot. So there our main goal was to understand the Spring Boot annotations and all these stuff. Hence the repository which we made was just a dummy repository. So even if I will show you this repository, you will find that okay, I have just made usage of list and it's not actually connecting with any kind of a database. So this repository is there, owner repository MPL, pet repository MPL. But now you see that since we will be making usage of Spring Data JPA, so I don't think so that we need to go for this repository MPL. Only the interfaces will work fine, and we don't need to write that much amount of criteria API or something like this. So hence that won't be needed here. Then besides this, if we come down, you can see we are having the exceptions here: owner not found exception, pet not found exception. Then there is something like duplicate owner ID exception, because now you see that since we are making usage of actual database, so we are auto generating the ID, but at that point of time it was just hard coded, so hence we need to have this exception. Now this won't be required anymore. Then here we are having the gender, we are having the pet type, both of them are enum. Then we are having the DTOs also here. So owner DTO is available, pet DTO is available. Under pet DTO, we are having domestic pet DTO and wild pet DTO. Between these two DTOs, we are having one-to-one relationship, which is bidirectional in nature. Now another thing which you will see here is that in this particular one, I have not implemented Lombok. Yeah, so that's why those extra builder classes and other things are not available. But in today's project, when we will be doing, so we will be implementing all those things, and same was mentioned to you in Spring Data JPA challenge also. So many times you guys keep on telling me that you want to work on the real project, but guys, I just want to have one question from you. I mean, just see, this project is having so many things and we are going to enhance it. First of all, with the same project, we learned Spring basics. Then with this, we are doing Spring Data JPA. Then in Spring REST, we are going to enhance it. Then in Spring Microservice, we are going to bifurcate it. So, I mean, what do you feel? What is missing in this project? So, always it's not a case that when you say real world project you need to go for an existing shopping cart application or transactional applications. Believe me, here we can do everything. It is just on your imagination. Don't stuck to only those shopping cart and other things. For me also it could have been easy, I could have taken that example only, but deliberately I've taken my own example. So learn from the things. Yeah, now here you can see we are also having the service IMPL test as well as the repository IMPL test. But again, as I say that at that point of time we were using the dummy repository, so hence these test classes also we need to enhance. So all these things are available there. Then let me just quickly execute the code and see whether it is working or not. So this is a good practice which you should always do, that whenever you are downloading an existing code, first of all try to see whether it is running or not. Yeah, then once you feel it is running fine, then you start making your own changes. So here we will go and we will click on this. So you can see that yeah, it has been started. And in that particular video I have also shown that how you can add a banner. I mean, in Spring Basics with Spring Boot there is a separate video for adding this too. Yeah, so that's why we are just announcing it. So it was looking something like this. We were having all those methods, and let me just quickly execute just one of them. So maybe I will say 5 here. Let's see what's the output. Yeah, so there are only two owners, and these are hard coded owners, guys. Okay, this data is not coming from the database, it is just hard coded here. And you see that AOP, aspect oriented programming, everything is available here. So let me just simply stop this. So this was your basic Spring Data JPA challenge which you need to do. Okay, so this time I gave you a chance also. I mean, now I'm not sure why you didn't apply. Yeah, I mean, I kept on making the videos. The point is you don't subscribe the channel, then you don't get the videos on time, and later on when you wish to watch something, then you come, then you say that okay, this is not. Believe me, everything is there. The only point is you need to spend time, you need to watch, and you will be able to learn everything. Yeah, but no worries. Now the next point is that here we will let's try to quickly create a jar file also and see whether it is getting created or not. Okay, so I'll go here and I will say something like run as, and let's say maven build. Yeah, and here let's try to say clean package, something like this. Okay, so because at the end also we need to ensure whether the jar file is getting created or not, because when let's say that in your actual project you will be deploying it on some server, so at that point of time you are not going to deploy the whole code as it is. Generally a jar file is getting deployed. So as you can see we are getting a success here, and here I will just say refresh, and here you can see target, and this jar file is available here. Yeah, again all these things have been shown in the that particular video. Yeah, I mean, you need to watch in series. If you will directly jump onto this video and then you will say that okay Abhishek, you were just reading the code, you were not explaining, things won't work, because then someone may say that okay, also tell us how to write a hello world code here. So that's how the things are not going to work. So now we are clear that what we are having, the things are working and the things are perfect. So now it's time to upgrade the project to make usage of Spring Data JPA. But for that, first of all, we will go to pom.xml. So we are here in this particular pom.xml, and now as you can see that at that point of time when I created this project, the version was 3.3.4. But now here you see there is a yellow symbol. Okay, so this is a Spring Boot feature, guys. What it does is that moment a new feature is going to come, I mean, why it's not getting, yeah, so the moment a new version is going to come, it will tell you that okay, whether it's a minor version or whether it's a patch version or something like this, and then it will show you this yellow symbol asking you to update the project. But now my suggestion is never update the things directly. First of all, code everything, ensure whether it is working fine or not, have a copy it maybe in your GitHub or somewhere, and once you are confirmed that okay, these things are working, then only upgrade the project. So what we will do is, first of all, we will go for this version only. We will code everything, we will see whether the things are working or not, and then at the end we will try to upgrade the project, so that even after upgrading, due to some xyz reason, if it fails, then also we will be able to fix the things by moving back to the previous version. Yeah, So here, as you can see, that we are having only these many dependencies here. That's a Spring Boot starter because we need basic Spring Boot functionalities. We are having AOP here because we want aspect oriented programming. We are having DevTools here because I wanted to have DevTools also here. Then we were having the Spring Boot starter test. So these things are there, and this is the artifact, so that whenever the jar file gets created, it takes the name of this particular Pakistan only and not any other simple name. Yep. So this is the way the things are going to work. But now, since we need to interact with the database, we need some more dependencies. So let's again go back here, and this time I'll go to the Spring Initializer. So here what I will do is, from here I will try to create, and then I will just copy paste the required dependencies. So I will go to this particular one and just ensure it is Maven, Java and all these things, so that it can provide you in that particular way only. Now the number one which I want is the data JPA. So this I want. Yeah. Then after this, the another thing, since I need to interact with the database, obviously I will be taking help of MySQL also. So this MySQL has also been added here. Then after this, what I need, so the next thing which I need here is something like, what I say, Lombok. So let's try to add Lombok. So yeah, this Lombok has been added. Then let's see whether we can get Mapstruct from this. So this Mapstruct is not available here, so we won't be able to add the Mapstruct with the help of this particular one. Yeah. Then since we need to test the things also at the end, so we need to add the h2 dependency. So h2 we are just adding because we need to test, and for testing we are making usage of the in-memory database. So we are here. So these four dependencies we have taken. Again, in future, if we will need that, okay, we need more dependencies, we can always come back here, and then we will see how to add them. So what I will do is, I'll go to this particular explore, and I'm basically showing you. For me it was very easy that I could have done this directly, but I'm showing you that how you should be able to do in your projects, okay, so that nothing breaks most of the time. So here what I will do is, I will copy paste all of them. Let me just quickly copy all these four, and I'll go back to this particular one, and I'm here. So first one is this Spring Boot starter. This looks good. And the next one, I will be pasting everything here. So now this is my data JPA. Now after data JPA, my habit is that I want to keep all these Spring Boot and dependencies first of all. So this way I want to keep all of them together. Then the number one is my MySQL. So MySQL I will be using here. So this MySQL I have placed here. Okay. Now it is not any hard and fast rule, guys. I guess there is some mistake. Yeah. So the point is, there is no hard and fast rule, but it is only for your knowledge purpose, so that whenever you want to show your project to someone, you can tell why you added this, why you added this. I mean, there needs to be some sequence. You should be able to make a story out of your code. Yeah. So now this h2 we just need only for the testing purpose, not actually for the runtime. So let me just say control X, and let me keep it at the end here. So after this testing I will be keeping, and here what I will also do is, I will say that I just need it for the testing scope. I mean, just to avoid any kind of confusion in future. Then here I need Lombok. So yeah, this Lombok is at the right place, so this one looks good to me. And after this we are having this DevTools here. So yeah, this one also I need, but in between I also want to have something like Mapstruct here. Yeah. And you know that I wasn't able to download the Mapstruct from that particular place. So what I will do is, I will go back here to this particular one, and I will say something like Mapstruct. Yeah. And see, I have already searched it. So that is the point. And I generally like these sites when they remember what I searched last time. So yeah, here this is the one Mapstruct. What I will do is, I will go back here, and I will just copy this particular one. So let me just copy here, let me go back, and let me just add it here. So this is how it's going to look like. I don't love these comments. Yeah. So generally I wish to remove them. And here, this version, what we will do is, we will move it on the top. So here I will just say something like this particular one here, like this. And here I will say it as mapstruct dot version. So this is how this is going to look like. So this becomes my mapstruct version. And now what I will do is, I will go back on the top somewhere here after the Java version, and here I will be adding the thing. So here I will say mapstruct. So the spelling needs to be correct. So we need to say this mapstruct version, and here we will say 1.6.3. So same thing. So that now the benefit is in future, whenever the version changes, I just need to change here. I don't need to go down and there I need to make the change. Yeah. Now one more thing which you need here is a Lombok Mapstruct binding version. Okay, so again and again I won't go there. I will just simply add it here. I will format the class by formatting this particular pom.xml, and then I will show you how this is going to look like finally. So after formatting, the pom.xml looks something like this. So as you can see that my Java version is currently 17. We will upgrade this also to 21, or let me do this particular part in the starting itself. So here let me make it as 21, because in Spring Data JPA also, if you remember, we were making usage of this 21 only. And the Mapstruct version is 163. As you remember, this is used to mapping the classes from DTO to entity and vice versa. This Lombok Mapstruct is generally required whenever you want to have Lombok as well as Mapstruct. So when you have both the things in your code, then this is required. Otherwise, you may not face issues while coding, but you may face issues while creating the jar file. So this is the one. Then we have Spring Boot Starter, we have Data JPA, we have AOP, we have MySQL, we have Lombok, we have Mapstruct, we have DevTools, we have Starter Test, and we have H2, because this database is required for the testing part. Yeah, and this is the final name of our jar file going to be, that is Pakistan. This project.artifact ID is available somewhere on the top. So yeah, this is how it is going to look like, artifact ID. Yeah. So this is the one. Now I hope this looks fine, and here it still says 17. So let me just quickly do a small thing. So I'll go here and I will say update project, I will say force update, and I will say okay. So after this it will get upgraded to 21. So that means our pom.xml is completed, guys, and now the next job is to update the classes. So what we will do is that, first of all, let me open this particular one, and let me take you to this enums first of all, because this enums is the smallest thing. I don't think so we need to make any changes there. So this enum, simply a gender, and this pet also, again, these are simple. So that means these two things don't need any change here. Then post this, we will, let's say, go to the DTO part. So here we will be moving on towards the owner DTO. Now in owner DTO, as you can see that currently we are having all these fields, we are having the getter methods, we are having the setter methods, as well as we are having the toString. But now we need to make usage of the Lombok here. So what we will do is that here I will say something like this: getter control shift O, yeah, and it looks something like this. So it will provide me all the getter methods. If I wish, I can make usage of @data also, but deliberately I'm showing you so that you can only add whatever is required, and instead don't add any unnecessary things. Now I also need something like a toString, so let me just quickly add it here. So this looks fine. Then after this, the next thing which I need is no args constructor. So let me do it something like this. So I have got no args constructor also, and then I need something like all args constructor. So let me write it like this. Yeah, so this is also available to me. Now after this, what I also need is I need a equals and hash code method. So let me write it like this: equals and hash code. And within this, I don't want to equate it for all the fields. Instead, I want to equate it only for some of the fields. So what I will do is I will go inside this, and here I guess I have shown you earlier also that you need to add this particular only explicitly included. So by default it is false. We will be making it as true. So I will go inside this and I will be calling it as true. This is done. Now, the last but not the least is the builder pattern, so that you can get the builder pattern here, and then the things, I mean, in that case, it's even much more beautiful. Yeah. Then here if we say, so now the point is that on which all variables you want to use in your equals and hash code method. So basically I want to use this particular one. So here let me say equals, and here, yeah, this equals and hash code, and let me here say dot include. So this I wish to include. Beside this, first name can be common, last name common, gender common, city, state common, mobile number should be unique. So let me write this one also, as well as this email ID can be unique. So let me write it here also. Then after this, what about these things? So now we don't need all these things. And yeah, this looks pretty much simple, something like this, guys. And here let me just say Control Shift O, Control Shift F, and yeah, save. So this is how the things are gonna look like. Now let's move on to the next pet DTU. So for pet DTU also, again, we need almost the same thing. So let me do just one simple quick thing, that since you have already seen these in the previous code, also previous demos also. So here let me just do quickly, and I will directly provide the annotations. Then I will show you all these 4 DTUs, that how they are going to look like. Now after adding the annotation in the other DTO classes, it's going to look something like this. So as you can see, my pet DTO is also simple now. Only on the ID we are making usage of the equals and hash code annotation. Then in my domestic pet DTO, it looks something like this: getter, setter, toString, and the no args constructor only. Here we are saying local date. Then here I'm making usage of builder on the constructor level. Why this? That I have already explained in the previous demos. And same for my wild pet DTO also. So that means now our DTO part is also finished. So let me just simply close this. Now after this, where should we go? So the next part, let's target the util one. So let's go to this util. Now on util, the number one thing is, here you can see we are having this private constructor here. But what I wish to do here is that here also I will be saying something like this. So I will call it as no args constructor. So let me say no args constructor. But as you remember, by default, the problem is it will provide me a public constructor. I want a private constructor. So I will be saying here access, and then I will be seeing here access, and then it is going to be level, and then it is going to be private. So access level is going to be private, let's say, and yeah, this is going to look something like this. Then here, as you can see, we are having the 8 options here. So the first option is to add the owner, second one to fetch all details, third one is to update the pet details, then delete the owner details as well as pet. Fifth is we are going to fetch all the owners. Sixth one, we are going to provide the pet ID, then we are going to fetch the pet details, and along with that we are going to fetch the owner details. Seventh, we need to find the average age of the pet, and in the eighth one we need to find the specific details using pagination. Now as you know that this is the final project where we are doing almost in all those previous demos which you see here, we have done almost all these things in one or the another demo, but here we are going to do all these things together. Now here this code I have written so that if anyone enters an menu option bigger than 8 or less than 1, then it says that invalid option entered and will ask for the same option. Then this I'm saying want to continue. I will be using it in my demo class. Then here we are having the method to save the owner details. But for this one also, if you see that currently we were making usage of the older way, because at that point of time we were not aware that how to make usage of the builder pattern. But now since we have Lombok, so what I will simply do is I will replace it with something like this, and now also I don't need this particular one. And this is how my code is going to look like. So that's the beauty. So many times what happens is we are only going to make changes in the main classes, but then we forget that where all we are using. So wherever you are using, try to enhance your code something like this. So this also looks pretty. Now here in the next part, if you see, we are saying accept pet details to save. So in this one we are fetching the we are getting the pet ID, we are getting the this particular one pet name also, but the point is we don't need pet ID while saving because this will be auto generated. So let me remove it from here. Last time we required, because at that time we were saving with the help of user. Same way we also don't need this owner ID. So let me remove that particular part also. So see, that's why I say it's always better that you copy paste your code and you should be able to enhance your existing code. But then you should also remember what is the extra thing which you needs to remove from your code. Now in this next part here, you see that again we are making use of the simple setter method. So what I will just simply do is I will replace this particular part also with all my patterns of the builder pattern. So let me just simply paste it something like this. I'm already having that code, and I'm doing this because in the previous demos I have shown it, so there won't be any benefit of doing this. Otherwise, if you just want to see all this thing only in detail, then you should be watching demo one. Yep. Because I mean I'm deliberately repeating that because sometimes what happens, then someone comes in the comment and says that okay, you are just reading out the code. Okay, it's not reading the code, it's like I'm now in the capstone project, so Yeah, so that's why I'm trying to make it as simple, as short as possible. Now here we say accept pet details. So this one will be used to enter the updated pet name. Then here we are saying the owner ID to operate, pet ID to operate. Then here we are asking for the page sizes, because if you remember, we need to do the pagination also. So only if the page size is more than 0, then it's fine. Otherwise we will be throwing the error from here itself. Then same for the page number also. And here we are saying to convert from the date part, from the string to date. So this way you can see that our input util is also completed. Now the next one. So the next one, let's move on toward the demo class. So in the demo class, you see it is going to look something like this. Here we are having the property source. We must be reading some properties from the messages.properties file. Today also we will be doing, else we will be removing this. Then we have this Spring Boot application annotation. Now here you see at that point of time, we were making usage of this particular one, which we call as constructor injection. But since now we are making usage of the Lombok, we even don't need to write this. And what we can simply do here is we can just say required all args constructor. So let me say it's something like this, required, and yeah, so it says required args constructor. And now I don't even need something like this. So let me just remove it. So automatically for all the fields which are final, it will create a constructor and then it will inject them also. This logger won't be there because it's a static field. Okay, so it won't create any issue for you. Then here I'm having the main method, and here as you can see we are getting all those 8 options. So the first option is to save, second one to find the owner, third one is to update the pet details, fourth to delete, fifth to find all the owners, sixth one again to find the pet with the help of pet ID, seventh one to find the average age, eighth one is something like this. Okay, so this is something we have updated, and yeah, this part is also done. So after this, now the next part here is that if you wish, you can directly move on to the service and the other layer. But the point is that in this point of time, if we will directly say service layer, then we need to go towards the repository layer, and repository layer will ask for the entity classes. Currently in this code we don't have the entity classes. So what needs to be done? So what I will simply do here is that let me just, I mean, do something very very simple here, guys. Okay, so what I'll do is that I will, let's say, copy from some of my previous demo only. So this way things are going to become easier also, and it will also be a proof that I'm just making usage of the previous demos only for most of the things. So I can pick any of these demos. Let me just simply take this demo number 5. Okay, so randomly I have selected this particular one. There is no reason as such, so let me just copy this and let me paste it under this particular part. So here let me paste it. So you see now it is coming fine. The entity is looking good. Now what we can do is we just need to verify whether these things are looking good or not. So we will go here. You can see we are having the owner. We are having the all the fields. So first of all, this is my base. So in the base you see I'm saying @getter, and here we are having on the ID field. Now here the ID we are automatically generating with the help of identity. If you want to learn this part in detail, you need to watch my Hibernate series. I have shown various other generation types also. Yeah, and on this I'm saying mapped superclass, because in the database we don't want a table for this class. So we are just saying it is not an entity class, it is just a mapped superclass, guys. Now the next one is here we are having the owner. So we are saying owner extends the base. For this we are saying we need getters, we need setters. This we need to create entity class, so we are saying entity, and I want a different table name. So hence I'm saying @table, and table name is going to be look something like this. Yeah, only for the learning purpose. Otherwise we can have the same table name also, there is not an issue. Then I want all the other fields. So for the first name I'm saying it is nullable false, it can't be null. Last name also nullable false, because by default nullable is true. Yeah, so for gender, I'm saying it is going to be gender. Now since gender is enum, hence we need to say @enumerated and something like this. Now here if you say enum type dot string, so you will be able to see the strings there in the database. If you say ordinal, so instead of the word actual gender male female, you will be seeing the numbers as 1 or 2, something like this. All these things I have actually covered in the Hibernate series also. Then here we are having the city, we are having state, we are having mobile number. Now for mobile number, some extra fields, I'm saying unique equals to 2 and length can be only 10, not more than this. Then for the email ID, I'm saying again unique needs to be true. And then for the pet, I'm saying that here we need to go for one-to-one mapping and cascade type all, which means all the operations which you want to apply on the owner also applicable on the pet, which means the moment you are saving the owner, pet also will be saved. If you are deleting owner, pet also will be deleted. And if you are reading the owner, the pet also will be read here. I'm saying optional false, which means that for all the owners, pet needs to be there. It is not optional. Pet is not option. It needs to be there. Orphan removal true. So sometimes it may happen that due to some XYZ reason, only the owner is getting deleted. Pet didn't got deleted. So in that case also, this orphan removal true will ensure that pet always gets deleted. Then here we are saying join column. So in the pet, so here that means that in this particular owner table, we will be having the column name as pet underscore ID. And in the pet table, we are going to have the column name as ID. So this way it is going to be mapped. Again, I'm saying nullable false and unique equals to true, which means this pet IDs are going to be unique, which will also ensure that for one owner, there can be only one pet. Okay. I mean, pet IDs can't be repeated here. Then let's move on to the pet. So almost the same thing. The only different annotation is this @ inheritance, because this time for the pet there will be child classes. That's why we are saying inheritance. Here we are just making usage of the joint inheritance. But in my Hibernate series, again I have explained you about single table, table per class, and all these things. Okay, and here all the repeated things only: name, gender, type, and owner, something like this. For owner, this we need to mention here so that we can do the bidirectional mapping. If I will remove this, bidirectional mapping will be removed, only it will be one directional mapping. Yeah. Then here the next particular one is the domestic pet. So yeah, this you see it's even much more simpler. Here I'm saying that okay, the table name will be domestic pet table and extends pet, and yeah, this is going to look something like this, while table is also going to be simple here. So in this particular way, all my entity classes are also done. Now let's move on towards the exception part. So in the exceptions here, we are saying we are having owner not found exception. Yeah, this one looks good to me. We are having pet not found exception. Yeah, this one also looks good to me because we will be providing the pet ID and may happen that pet is not found. Then here we have something like duplicate owner ID exception. Now I don't need something like this. Last time it was required because I was manually creating the owner ID. So hence that was a scenario that I'm just trying to save a owner with a duplicate owner ID. Hence this was added, but this time the owner IDs will be automatically generated. So let me just simply remove this particular one. So what I will do is I will delete it. Okay. So at this point of time I have deleted, and because of this you see now I will be starting getting some of the errors in other codes also, because there I was using its reference. Yeah. So but no need to worry, we have just simply deleted it. And now the next part is that we need to move on towards the service layer. So from here let's go to the service layer first of all, or even before that what we can simply do is let's go to the repository layer, because that part is even much more simpler, guys. Okay, I mean it is Spring Data JPA, but believe me, repository is even much more simpler. So why is it simple? Because I don't need repository IMPL. For the repository, I just need the interface. That's it. Okay. So I will just simply remove this repository IMPL. Yeah. And it's gone. Now what I will do, I will go to this owner repository, something like this, and here what I will be doing is that I'm going to extend the JPA repository. So let me just bring my cursor here, and I will be seeing here extends, and here I will be seeing JPA repository. Some people have a habit to extend the CRUD repository. That's a wrong practice, guys. CRUD is even the parent of JPA repository, so don't extend that. Extend the JPA so that even you can get the benefits of paginations and other things. Okay, and I'm getting something like this. So again I will be saying here control shift 2. Now I don't need to write all these silly methods because these are going to be very simple. I will be automatically getting them without any issues. Yeah. And I'm left only with one simple method here, which is find ID and first name and last name and pet name, where it says something like this: page number and page size. Okay, but the point is that here we can make usage of pageable object, so I don't need to pass it something like this, and I can simply make usage of this pageable object. So let me say here it is pageable, and again let me say this particular one. Now this pageable needs to be coming from the Spring Framework data domain, not from any other thing. So just take it from there. Yeah, this is how it is going to look like. Now for this particular one, you see that this kind of, this is not query by method. Here we can't make usage of query by method. So here we need to make usage of query by annotation. And hence we need to write a query also here. So let's start writing our query for this particular one. Only one query you need to write. See, earlier there were so many methods. Now you just need to write one. All others will be available to you automatically without even doing any much amount of hard work. So here let's say select. Yeah, and here what I will be saying is I will be saying, let's say O. So as of now, let's try to get all the things from owner O. So here I will be saying something like this, from owner O, and then I will be saying here join O dot pet. So I will be joining it with this because you are writing the query, hence you need to write. Otherwise, for all other things, like when you say find by ID, find all, at that point of time automatically all the pets will be available to you. Now you don't want the whole O object. Instead, you just want only some of the fields. So I want the ID field from it. I want the first name field from it. Now you will say, Abhishek, how you are remembering these names? I'm remembering because I just wrote these names in this particular owner class. So from here only I'm saying which all things I need. I also need this last name. So let me just simply say O dot last name. So all these things also I need. Now I want a pet name. So what I will do is I will go here, but here I'm getting only the pet, guys. Okay, so that's the thing. So I will be saying O dot pet. So again I can simply say a dot here, and I will go to this particular dot, and here I will be saying name here. Okay, so these are your field names. So these are your field name, your variable names, not your column names, and hence it is HQL, not your SQL. Okay, I guess I have already covered this particular thing in multiple videos, the difference between SQL and HQL here. Yeah. So, and in one of these old videos also, I guess that was covered. I will provide the link on somewhere on the top, so that if you wish you can watch it in detail if you haven't watched it till now. Okay, so this particular one, owner repository, is also done, guys. Now the next one is going to be my pet repository. So let's go for that particular one. Now for pet repository, again I want the same thing. What I will do is I will go here and let me just simply copy paste. Okay, wherever you can copy paste, why do you want to write the things on your own? And here let's say this particular pet, and yeah, this is again done, guys. Yeah, so again we don't need to write a method for something that simple, and for this particular one obviously we need to write. So again let's start writing the things. So here again let's say at the rate query, and I will be saying something like this, control shift O. Within this I will be saying this, and here let me say select. Okay, so this select I have done. Now from where I will be selecting, so I need to select it from the pet. So here I will be saying from pet and this P. So P is the reference here. Okay, now, what I wish to select. So this time I want to select the average age of the pet. So I will be saying here average formula, that is AVG. So only this is going to be the formula. Again, from language to language it varies. In MySQL this is the formula. If you are making the PostgreSQL, so you just watch, and this small change only you may need to do. Otherwise you don't need to worry much, guys. Okay, because I guess this is an HQL, so this is going to be a common thing only, and you don't need to worry and change the same thing again and again. So this we are taking from the current date, we need to subtract, and what we need to subtract is that we need to subtract the birth date of that particular pet. So here we will be seeing birth date. Okay, so this is how it is going to again work, and let me just save this particular one. So this way our pet repository is also ready, guys. So even this part is done. Now what's next? So next one is, let's move on towards the service layer. Okay, so for the service layer, first of all let's simply go to the pet service, because I feel that pet service is going to be much more simpler here. So for that particular one, if we are in this, so here you can see that we are just having the find pet, and we are having the find average age of the pet, nothing much here. So let's move on towards this particular one, pet service IMPL, because here now the time comes where we need to make many more changes. So number one change is that this time also again I will be making usage of the Lombok. So I can simply make usage of this annotation that is required args constructor, and then I don't need to write something like this. So this is not needed, but the point is, then how will you write this particular one? So let me just say control X and let me paste it here, guys. And yeah, this time I can remove this particular part. Say control shift O, and this is how it is going to look like. Now the next one is find pet. So we are saying, okay, this is pet repository dot find by id. Now this one is going to provide me the pet. So what I need to do is I need to map it. So here I will be saying a map here, and here I need to map it to from pet to pet DTO. But the problem is currently I don't have that particular mapper. Okay, now if you don't have that mapper, so one option is that we can again create from the scratch. We can spend more that much amount of time. Otherwise we have already done that part also in the previous videos. So let me just go back to one of the videos and copy paste from there. Let's see whether we will be able to get all these things or not. So I guess we need this owner mapper and the pet mapper. So let me just simply copy paste. Okay, if still issues will come, I guess I need to change that particular one. Okay, I need to copy from some other demo. As of now it seems to be fine. Okay, so yeah, this is done, and now let me just try to go for it. So this time what I need to do is, first of all, I need to say here private, and then I will be saying here final, and then it is going to be my pet mapper. This is going to be my pet mapper, and here let me just make it something like this, pet mapper. Yeah, let me say control shift O now. So this is going to be my pet mapper. So yeah, this is the one. Now what I will be doing here is that I will be saying here pet mapper colon colon, and here I will be saying pet to pet DTO. So here let me say it like this, pet to pet DTO. I hope it's available to me, and yeah, that one is available. Now those who have not watched the previous video, let me just quickly open it and show you how it's going to look like. So as you can see, this pet mapper is just an interface. On this I'm saying add the rate mapper, because of which I'm making usage of the Mapstruct. Yeah. Now, why do we need to say this component model? So that we can auto wire this in our classes. So that is the reason we need to auto wire and make it something like this. Now, within this, you just need to make methods like this. And since it was a little bit complex part, because here we were having inheritance and all that stuff also, hence we need to do something like this. Otherwise, the things are that simple. So what you do is that we are providing a pet here, then it will decide whether it's a domestic pet, wild pet, or something like this. If it is a domestic pet, so it will automatically call this method. What this method will do is, here I'm saying convert from domestic pet to a domestic pet DTO. So I will pass a domestic pet and I will be getting a domestic pet DTO automatically. So that is one of the benefit, guys. Now you will say that, okay, Abhishek, where is this particular one? Where is the implementation of this? So believe me, that gets generated automatically. Let me just simply show you here. So we will go to this target generated sources annotations, and here let me go, and this is my pet mapper IMP. So the moment I pasted the pet mapper here, this got generated. Otherwise, in your case, you will be writing it and it will get generated. And see, yeah, this is the magic, guys. Okay, so automatically. So that's why it is very crucial while you write the names, that they need to be same in your entity as well as DTO, so that things can happen automatically. In case the names are different, then you need to do a little amount of hard work, then you need to write them on your own. But if they are same, so believe me, things are going to work something like this. Yeah. And this time when we are converting, so we are saying that in this particular domestic pet object, you or in this particular domestic pet DTO, you may get something like owner DTO. So for that owner DTO, again internally in that owner DTO, you will be having a pet DTO. So at that time, ignore that one. Otherwise, it will again enter in a loop here. Yeah. So this way we are going to do the things here, guys. So yeah, this one looks simple. And for this particular one, pet repository, yeah, nothing much needs to be done. And believe me, guys, this one looks pretty much simple to me. Okay, so this part is also done. Let's just simply save it and let's go away from here. One small thing which I can do is I will copy this particular one and then I will go to my owner service. Okay, now in this particular time in the owner service, what do we have here is that we don't have this particular exception. So let me remove it from here. We want to save the owner, we want to find the owner, we want to update the pet details, we want to delete the owner, we want to find all owners, and yeah, this needs to be done. Here we are getting the page number and the number of records per page. So this is also looks fine, and let me just say control shift S. Yeah, so this is also done. And now let me go to this owner service IMPL. So again, in this owner service IMPL, we need to do a lot of hard work. So let's start doing all that particular hard work. So let me just keep this particular one here, so that again we don't need to take help of this particular one. So here the number one thing is that we don't need this particular thing. Okay, this was related again to your duplicate owner ID exception. So this one is not needed, and you only need this owner not found. So this one I have pasted here. Again, the next one thing which you need here is the owner mapper. So here let's add that particular one also. So here I will be saying owner, something like this, and here let me say owner mapper, and here let me say owner mapper, something like this, and here control shift O. So again, this one looks good to me. Let me just delete this particular part. Now after this, the next particular one is that here we need to save the owner. Now for saving the owner, there is no chance that this exception can come. And here we were doing this find by ID. Again, we don't need to do this much amount of hard work. So let me remove this particular part also. And what I wish to do is I just want to save, but I can't directly save because while saving I need to pass the owner object here. So I can't pass the owner DTO object. So what I will be doing here is I will be saying owner mapper, something like this, and here I will be getting a method from owner DTO to owner. This time I need. So let's see if we have any other method like this. So here we say owner to owner DTO. The reverse method is not there. I guess in that, that particular demo was the one where we were not having that kind of method to convert from an owner DTO to owner. So what we will simply do is, let me go to some other demo. Let me try to look to that particular one, and here let's see, do we have owner DTO? Yeah, we are having this owner DTO to owner. So let me copy this particular part and let me save it here, because this was the only thing which I was saying you, okay, because I was just simply copy pasting on the runtime, so I wasn't sure which all methods are available, which all methods are not available. In all other demos, the point is we have covered only some of the part, but in this one we are covering almost each and everything. Yeah, so this is how it is going to look like, and what it is going to provide me is it is going to provide me a single owner which is going to look something like this, and here I will be saving the owner, and here what I will be doing is I will say like this particular one, and I will say control shift F for this and control shift O. So this is how it's going to look like. Save owner is done, guys. Now the next one is finding the owner. So for finding the owner, here we are saying owner repository dot find by ID. Okay, this is done. Now for this again we need to map it. So what I will be doing here is that I will be saying here something like this owner mapper. So let me write it like this owner mapper and colon, and this time I need to convert the reverse one, owner to owner DTO. Okay, so here let me say like this, and I will say owner DTO. Otherwise, in case if it is not found, so I'm saying or else throw owner not found exception and provide the owner not found message as well as the owner ID. So yeah, this one looks good to me, guys. Then next particular one. So the next one is update the pet details. So here while updating the pet details, we were getting the owner ID and the pet name, and it looks something like this. So for this also what we have done is, first of all, we are finding the owner. Okay. Now in case if the owner is found, then we are going to save in this particular one, but this is not going to be owner detail. It is just going to be a simple owner. So let's simply save the owner here. At this point of time, we don't need to convert it to the owner detail. As we are saying, or else through owner not found exception and something like this. Okay, this is the one. Now from this owner, what I will be doing is I will be getting the pet object. So here I will be saying get the pet object, and within that pet object I'm setting the name. Now last time you see that we were hard coding the repository layer, hence we added another method to update the pet details. But here I told you in the previous demos also that you don't have any other separate method, something like this, and what you can just simply do is you can save this owner as it is. So this time what it will do is it will see that okay, this entity is already available in the database, hence instead of creating a new entity, it will just update the existing entity. Otherwise, if you don't want that, you say no, I want to call a specific method, then that also you can do. Again, I have shown in some of the previous demos. Okay, but as of now we are fine for this particular one also. Then the next particular one, so the next one is delete the owner. So for delete the owner, here we are doing something like this. We are saying find by ID. But see, if I just want to delete the owner, why do I need to find by ID? I can just simply check whether it exists or not. So I will say exists by ID, and now what it is going to provide me is it is going to provide me a boolean value. So this is the one, and here I will be writing it something like this. So I will say owner exists. So this is how it is going to look like, and let me just copy this particular one, guys, and let me simply paste it here. So owner exists. So if owner exists, and let me negate it. So if this will say yes, owner exists, so that means it is going to be true. If this is true, then this will automatically make it false. Okay, hence this condition will false, and it will simply delete it by id. In case this owner exists comes out to be false, so this condition will become true, and hence we are going to delete the owner. So that way also you can do it. If you wish other way also, I mean, that is your choice. Whatever the way you wish, you can do the things here. Yeah. Now the next one is find all owners. So for the find all owners here, yeah, the things are simple. The only problem is this find all method is not going to provide you the owner detail. It is going to provide you the owner list. Okay, so we need to convert it, and this time we will be taking help of the streams here. People keep on saying me that, okay, Abhishek, we want to make usage of the things, we should be making usage of some very complex demo. My question is just very simple, guys. Okay, I won't say you that, okay, why do you want a more complex demo? I will just simply ask you what is, I mean, drawback in this existing demo. Because remember, let me tell you a very interesting scenario. One day what happened is someone told me on the Instagram that, okay, Abhishek, you should be making some real world project. Then I asked them, okay, then what is the, I mean, what is the drawback in my existing Pakistan project? And the person was like, okay, what is Pakistan? Okay, so if you are not watching the video and then you are just simply saying that, okay, you should make a real world project, then we will watch your videos. I mean, then things are not going to work, guys. Okay, so in that case, it is not going to, believe me, work here. Okay, so here we are saying owner repository dot find all. Now what's the issue here? It says cannot convert from list of owner to list of owner DTO. So here we are saying owner to owner DTO, and yeah, it should be working fine. Yeah, so just a matter of saving it. Yeah. And let's move on to the last but not the least. So here we are saying we are getting the page number and we are getting the number of records per page, and we need to call the method. This time it is going to provide a list of object array, and hence there is no issue. The only issue is we need to provide it as a pageable object, because there also, if you remember, we made it as pageable. So let me just write it, this particular one. Let me take this particular object and pass it on here, something like this particular one. So I have explained you completely in detail that how you can make usage of pageable. It can be used not only for the pagination but also for the sorting purpose. Yeah, so here let me make usage of this page request and let me say off. And here, yeah, automatically this will come, and yeah, this is going to look something like this. Let me again say Control Shift O. Again, you need to take it from your Spring framework data. And yeah, that particular part is done. What is the mistake here? It says that, okay, it is meant for these particular arguments int. Why is it saying so? I guess we remember. Okay, again, just a matter of saving, guys. Okay, nothing more than that particular part. So that means this part is also done. So now we are done with the repository layer, we are done with the service layer also, we are done with our mappers also. Next particular part is, let's move on towards the mapper. Okay, or sorry, not mapper, but here, yeah, I mean, this particular one, see, util is done, service sample done, services done, repository done, exceptions done, enums done, entity done, DTO done. This particular one is also done. The only thing left is the logging aspect. I don't think so we need to make any change here, but just for the purpose of revision, let me just explain you what we did here. So here we created an aspect class. On this, I went to say it as @component, so that Spring Boot creates a bean for it. Since you want to make it as an aspect class, you need to say @aspect. Okay, then here we again said logger here, and now what I did is I said that, okay, this is an aspect only for the service methods, and hence I wrote this particular expression here. Now this time I want to be explaining you what is this expression. Instead, you tell me in the comments what is this expression. I mean, you tell me each and everything. What is this, what is this, what is this? Because in the previous Spring Basics with Spring Boot series, this has been explained in detail. So what it will do is that before calling a particular service method, it will print something like this, or it will log something like this, that it has entered in this particular method with these arguments. Then in case if the method is complete, it will say completed this method with the result as this. In case the method is throwing some error, it will say completed this method with the exception, something like this. Okay, I have done it only for the service layer. If you wish, you can do it for the repository also. But believe me, there is no fun of it. I mean, why do you want to do it for the repository? Yeah, that will look not good. So here, yeah, this particular part is also done. So this is gone here, guys, and let's move on towards our resources part. See, we have came to this particular level here, and in the resources, first of all, let's go to our messages.properties file. So here you see we don't need this first one, so this one is not needed here, and we just need the other two things. Okay, so that was the part here. Then beside this particular one, we just need to update the application.yaml here. So yeah, this errors we can ignore here, so let's simply ignore it. And here what it's saying, let's try to read it carefully. So here, now you see that in the previous project I made usage of the YAML. In the whole series we made usage of the properties. So basically it is your choice. If you wish, you can make usage of application.properties. If you wish, you can make usage of application.yaml. What is the difference between two, which one to be preferred, I've already covered in the Spring Basics with Spring Boot series. But since here our code is making usage of YAML. So, I mean, believe me, guys, this happens many times. So, let's say that you entered in a particular project. That project was already making usage of YAML. Now it is not an option for you that you will say, no, I know only properties file, so I will be making usage of the properties file. That is not a point, guys. Okay, so many times people keep on saying me, we have properties, why should we go for YAML? This is the reason. So see, that is the deliberate reason I chose this particular project which was already created by me earlier, and hence this time I need to stick to some of the rules. One of the rules is that I need to make usage of YAML here, but in all these demos I made usage of the properties file. Then also no worries, I should be able to do this particular one if I was able to do it earlier. So this particular one was for the logging file, and here you say that how it is going to log. So it is going to create under this particular logs folder. So since we executed once, hence it created a logs folder, and within this it saved it as pakistan.log. Okay, so this way it did. Now what it will do is that a maximum file size can be 10 MB. So within a day, if you are reaching it, a new file will be created. In case if you didn't reach this particular thing, then also a new file will get created for every new day, and hence this particular name will also get added. So if you will execute the same code on 2 different days, you will see 2 different files are getting created. Okay, so previous data will getting saved in the some other file. Then here we say spring application.name, and that is Pakistan. Now comes the next interesting part. So here we need to provide the data source here first of all. So here let's try to add this particular data source. Now here, due to some extra reasons, the options are not coming in my YAML file, but generally that doesn't happen. After this video I may need to reinstall this particular one, and yeah, then it may be some issues. Okay, so sometimes it happens, but otherwise the options even come for this particular one, and hence you should be making usage of this thing, that is the YAML file. So here we are providing the password here, guys. Next comes to my URL here. So here the URL was something like jdbc colon MySQL. So this was a MySQL. So here I'm saying MySQL here. Then here let me say localhost, something like this. And within localhost it was 3306. Then let me see here slash, and then it is going to be my Pakistan application, guys. Okay. Then the next one was something like username. So here let me say username. Again, let me take help of this dollar symbol, and here let me say something like this. Within this I will go and I will say here MySQL underscore username. So again, this is how the things are going to look like, guys. Okay, so this username also we have done. Now we also need to provide some JPA properties, some Hibernate properties. So let's start providing them. So again, this JPA comes directly under the Spring, so hence I'm going at that particular place. Okay, then here I need to say under JPA we are having this particular one Hibernate. Under Hibernate we are having this DDL hyphen auto. So here let me say something like this, and here let me take help of this particular one update. Then beside this I also want to see the SQL part here. So I will be saying here show SQL, and here let me say here true for this particular one. So this is now, since I have taken help of H2 for my testing purpose later on, and after some time for your purpose, for your benefit, I will also be providing here the SQL files. So I don't want to initialize those SQL files in the starting itself, hence I wish to see here something like this, that is SQL, and I will be seeing here init. So let me just make it as enter here. So yeah, this enter let me do here. Again for this init, let me say enter here, and I will be saying here mode and never. Okay, so this is required whenever you are making usage of h2, so that you don't want to initialize that particular part. Okay, now it says that okay, so yeah, this happens many times when you are directly making usage of the YAML. So what you just need to do, if you see something like this, so what happened is that when I said enter, so currently it looks good to us, but the point is for enter it took a tab space instead of a normal space. So we just need to click on backspace here completely, and then we need to give one space and then two space, so that again it comes back to the right place. Okay, so this time for the password also we need to do the same, one space, two space, three space, same thing. And yeah, I guess for this particular one password it looks something like this. Same for the URL, 1 2 3 and 4. Same for the username, so let me remove it, 1 2 3 and 4. Now for this JPA, so for JPA let me remove 1 and 2. Then same for this hibernate, so let me remove 1 2 3 and 4. Now for this DDL, for DDL I guess this was 6 space, so 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. Now for this show SQL, so again remove 1 2 3 4. Okay, and yeah, one more was required. Then for this SQL, so 1 and 2, and for this particular one init, so I guess 1 2 3 and 4. And for this mod I guess 6 spaces will be there, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, I mean, how you will come to know whether the spaces are right or wrong? The moment everything will go right, it will stop giving you any errors. Okay, I mean, that's the simple logic. Okay, otherwise what simply you can do is you write in a properties file, and then you, I mean, you will be getting an option to convert it to the YAML, so that you can do. Okay, so that I have again shown you in the Spring Basics with Spring Boot series. Yeah, so this is how your YAML file is going to look like, guys. So that means this particular part is also done. Now what? Now should we write the test cases? So as of now not. So let's not write the test cases first. Let's try to execute it. And the point is, even before executing, what we need is we want to have, I mean, we want to have the same thing in our database. Also what I wish to do is let me copy paste from some previous one these data and data.sql. Otherwise later on I will forget, guys, and let me paste it here. Some of you say, what is this banner.txt, Abhishek? So this is the same Pakistan. Okay, again, if you want to see how this happened and everything, watch that particular series. Okay, and yeah, this is simple marketing. I mean, you want to study, you want to read everything, you need to watch everything in single video. Everything can't be covered. Okay, so this particular part is done. Let me just close that particular one. Now let's go to our dbeaver and first of all create the schema. Only schema we need to create, rest everything will be created here. So we went there, and here let me do something very simple. So what I will do is let me just quickly refresh it and see whether it was already there or not. So yeah, I'm refreshing it, and let me say here Pakistan. So it says now this Pakistan has been created, and if I just say refresh here, so you will be able to see Pakistan, and now we are making usage of this Pakistan here, guys. Yeah, but the problem is in this Pakistan currently there are no tables as of now. So let's again go back to our code here, and what we will be doing is that this time now let's execute the code. But before executing, what happened is that since we made some changes in the methods and other things also, hence we started getting errors here basically in the repository. So what some quick thing which I can do here is that here let me just remove all my test methods. So basically all these test methods I will be removing. So let me simply remove all these test methods from here, and let me remove this particular part also. Okay, and let me remove this particular one also here. So let me just simply remove it, or let me just simply remove it completely. Okay, let it be an empty class, guys. Okay, so let this be an empty class, and let here also it be an empty class. And again we will be able to write, I mean, no hard and fast rules, guys. So let me just write it like this. Same let's quickly do for the service also. So for the service, it doesn't shows any error in that, so wherever it will show the error I will only delete that particular part. Okay, so here I'm fine with this particular one, and here let's go to the pet service impl. Here also it doesn't shows any error for that particular one, but yeah, this again looks pretty much simple to me. So now there are no compilation errors. Okay, so this way it looks fine to us. Yeah, now let's quickly execute, and for executing what we will do is here we will, as a good rule, good practice, what you should be doing is whenever you are making a new properties file or a YAML file, always update your project. Sometimes it doesn't fix those files and hence it provides you the error. So yeah, I guess it is done, it has updated. So here it is updating. Okay, that particular part is done. Now let's execute, and before executing, one more small thing which we need to do here is, because we need to provide username and password. So I will be going inside this, and what I will do is I'll again copy from some of the previous one. So from this I will copy these two. So let me say this and say Control A, say copy, and let me come back here and I will be saying paste and say apply and close. Yeah, this is done, guys. Now let's start the thing. Okay, so now I guess we have almost done our job, guys. Okay, so this is Pakistan and yeah, this is working fine. Okay, so here it says that okay, parameter 2 of the constructor, this particular one, owner service IMPL required a type of string that could not be found. Okay, let's go and see what mistake we have made there. So for this particular one, owner service IMPL, I guess some mistake has been done. Okay, so the mistake which we have done in this particular part was that here this string cannot be final, otherwise it will start taking it as a part of the constructor. So this can't be the case. Same thing needs to be done here, guys. So let me just remove it, and yeah, this is done. So again I have closed this, but I guess it was able to create these particular tables for us. So let's quickly go to the database and see whether it has created or not. So let me just refresh, and you see all my 4 tables are available, and this is how I can read data from all those tables at a single point of time. So currently this is empty. Yeah, so this data is empty. So what we will do is, before re-executing the thing, so that because this time I'm pretty much sure more than previous that okay, it is going to work. So what I will do is I'll go here and I will copy the data also from here. So data is available in this data.sql. Okay, so from here let me copy all these things. So first of all, let me just copy this pet table data. So I will copy this particular one, and let me go in this part here. This is the one, and let me execute this here. So I'll select and I will say this. So the moment you are saying this, it says that okay, 72 data has been inserted. That means all 72 pets have been there. Now let's start adding all the domestic pets. So let's just simply add the domestic pets. So we are having 36 domestic pet, guys. So we need to add all of them. So let me go here, and yeah, this way 36 domestic pets have been added, guys. Next, now the next particular part is we need to add the wild pets. Okay, so next 36 were the wild pets. Okay, and here I have taken almost, I mean, all the owners are from the different states of the India. Okay, so this also is there. So let's tell me in the comment from which state you are, whether I have covered your city or not. Okay, so not only the states, I have covered many cities also. So check the database, check whether your city has been covered or not. I have tried to cover many cities, but again, like, it wasn't possible to cover everything. Yeah, so still I've tried my best, and let's again see. So here, now at least in our database we are ready. Okay, so that means in terms of database we are ready with our 72 data. The only point is that okay, let's see whether our code will execute now or not, guys. Okay, I mean, what do you think? Comment first of all before I execute whether it will work or not. So again executed, let's see. Okay, yeah, it worked this time, guys. See, it is working and absolutely perfectly fine, it's working. So as of now, let's not add a new owner. Let me just show you all other options. So let me just say 2 here, let me say ID 10, and yeah, you can see it says found owner with owner ID 10, and here it shows you all this particular owner data also, as well as the pet data within that. Within the pet, the owner d2 is null, otherwise it will enter in a loop here. Another interesting point here is that here, since I enabled the show SQL, hence it is showing you this SQL part. Beside this, if you see, what it is showing you is, since I added the logging aspect, hence it is showing this particular log aspect. Okay, so it says that entered owner detail. So in this particular owner detail, so here it shows the complete method name. So the method name was returning the owner detail. This was your method name. It was accepting an integer argument, and the argument was 10. So this was showing, and here then in the output it was saying that okay, completed owner detail for this method with the result as something like this. Okay, so this is how it is going to work. But believe me, you I mean, here I'm just doing only for the demo purpose. You don't print always all the complete result. Otherwise, the issue which you will be facing here is that, let me go to this particular fifth one. And now let's see the magic. So all these 72 owners came. Okay. So this is how it is going to work. And this is going to be your show SQL. But here, if you see, let me take you here. So yeah, see this logging aspect, completed list. So it will show you the complete list also in that particular one. Okay. So hence don't do that particular thing. So this also worked. Let's say sixth option and say again 10. So as you can see, this is also working, and hence this time it is showing us the pet data. Again, within the pet data, it is showing the owner data here. Let's say the next particular one. So the next particular one was the update. So let's try to update the data. For this 10 only we will do updated pet name, something like this, so that it's clearly readable to us. I will say y, and I will say 2 here. I will say id as 10. And now yeah, so for this particular one, the pet name should be something. Yeah, so you can see the pet name has been updated. So this is being done, guys. Now let me again say y here, and this time let's try to find the average age of the pet. So average age of the pet is 39 years. Okay, our pets are very old. So this is how it is going to look like. Now let's say this 8 here. Let's try to do the pagination. So I want data on page number 1. For every page I just want 5 data at a time, and yeah, this is going to be my 5 data. So this is also going to look fine, guys. So 8 is done, 7 is done, 6 is done, 5 is done, fourth is left. So let's try to go for fourth. Let's say 10 this time, and yeah, it says 10th pet has been deleted. As of now I won't show you. For this, what I will do is I will directly show in the database. Otherwise it will just, I mean, give the error and the code will stop, but still one option is left. So here let me go, and currently you see that currently we are having 72 rows here, and 10th pet is available. But if I will refresh it, 10th pet is gone, and now only 71 rows are left. So that means that is also done. Now only one option is left. Let's execute that particular one. So here let me just give my name, guys, Abhi, and last name is Verma, and gender is male, and city is Chandigarh. Let me say Chandigarh here. Do let me know if anyone is watching from Chandigarh, guys. Okay, so this is one. Phone number 98989898. Let's say 76. Okay, I guess this comes out to be a unique number. Okay, email ID, as of now let's just simply give anything like ave at the rate abhi, I mean .com, and just something like this. Okay, simple as that. Parrot name, okay, a pet name, not parrot name. So me too. And domestic, I want a domestic pet, and date of birth I can give like 11 and 2020, something like this. Gender is male, and I want to be I mean, Mithu can't be the name of a dog, but let's keep it. Okay, I mean, who is stopping us from doing that? So I have done that, and it says saved owner successfully. Let's go and check in the database. So earlier there were 71 rows. Now if we see, these are 72 rows, and I guess yeah, it got added here. See, 73rd pet, and this whole data. See, everything is getting saved. So many times what happens is people just execute, they don't see the database. You also need to verify whether your data is actually getting saved in your database, right data in right values or not. Okay, so this is how the things are going to work, guys. Okay, so that means we were able to update our project, but still there exists a but, guys. Okay, the problem here is that we are still left with the testing cases, because we changed so many things, and hence we need to remove the testing also. So let's quickly provide that too. Again, for this testing part is going to be repeated. I have already covered in this demo number 11 also. This was the latest video of unit testing for repository and the service layer. So what I will simply do is I will only provide the testing for one method of the pet repository IMPL, and one method for the pet service IMPL, not for each and everything, so that we don't need to spend time also. And before pushing the code on the Git, I will update all other things. Okay, so that is something what I can do here. So first of all, let's go to this pet service IMPL. So here you see the number one thing, we are saying test property source, because we may need to read some property from the messages.property as well, and hence I have kept it here. Then the other one is Spring Boot test. So here we are saying classes pet service IMPL and something like this. Now I also may need to get some data from the pet mapper, and hence I will be saying here pet mapper. Okay, So here I will be saying pet mapper impl dot class something, and now it becomes an array, guys. So hence for the array you need to write it like this, and you need to say control shift O. So this is how it is going to look like. Now here we are saying pet service impl, and here we are saying mock bean, and that is my pet repository. Now within this we need to write the test method. Okay, so here let's start writing the test method. So first of all we will be saying test, and now we need to ensure that okay, what we are going to test. So let's go here, let's go to this pet service sample, let's have a reference of it. So we are actually trying to test this particular find pet method. So yeah, okay, no worries. So here we will be saying void. So always your test method returns you the void, and here we are saying we need to find the pet. So this is a best way to write, guys. So first you say it's a test so that it becomes a prefix, then you say the method name, complete method name, then you give a scenario. So currently my scenario is that here the pet exists. So for this particular id the pet is existing. So in case if the pet is existing, then it should be returning me the dto. Okay, so here I'm saying that if pet exists, then it should be returning me a pet dto, something like this. And here I will be saying out something for this particular one, and I will say control shift o. Then now within this, as I mentioned you last time also, what you do is first of all simply divide your code in three parts, that is given, and then you say given, when, and then, I mean then is then. Okay, for then you don't need to do anything. Now in the when part, okay, this is again very simple. So in the when part you call the actual method which you want to test, and this way you will never make a mistake, guys. Okay, I mean this is a very simple logic. Now here we need some input pet id. So here let me write it like this. As of now it's not available, so I will be providing it soon. So this is the one. What it is going to return me is, it is going to return me a pet dto. So here let me write it like this, actual, and this is going to be my actual pet dto, control shift o, guys. Yeah, this is done. Now what? Now here I need to take this particular one. So here let me just say copy, and here let me say paste, and here let me say one. Okay, just something like this. Okay, and yeah, here the point is it says I can throw. Okay, no worries, you throw, and that's this particular one. Okay, because it can throw, hence we are just throwing it. Now what we need to do is, here we want to do some assertion. So here we are saying that assert. So here I will be saying that first of all you need to assert that this actual pet dto, that is actual pet dto, is not going to be null. Okay, so this should not be null, so is not null. So this is how it is going to work, guys. So I'm saying that this one should not be null, because here we are taking for this scenario that it should return me a pet dto which is not null. Then otherwise what? Second thing is, we also want to verify that okay, it is not some hard coded, and actually it is calling the method for your repository layer. So from the repository layer I'm saying that okay, it should be making a call exactly one time. For what? So it should be calling the find by id method. So here I should be saying find by id, and for this same particular pet also input pet, and here I will be saying id here. So input pet id, again let me say control shift o, and all these things I'm getting from the mockito. So some things from the JUnit, some things from the mockito, everything you are getting something like this. Okay, so this is the one. Now beside this, what you can do here is that also we can say that okay, what we are trying to expect. So whenever we are called, so this is given and when and something like this. Okay, now how we are saying that okay, it is not null? Because we are saying that whenever we will be calling, at that point of time internally somewhere it will be calling the pet repository. So if it is going to call the pet repository, then it must be calling with the help of this find by id only. Okay, so if that is the find by id, so here in that particular one also it must be passing the same id only. Yeah, and at that point of time it must be returning something. So here let's say then return, and in this particular one let me just make it something like this, control shift o. So I'm saying that whenever it is going to return, so it should be returning something optional dot off. So here I'm saying optional dot off, and in this particular one I'm going to expect something from it. Okay, so I will be saying that okay, it can be anything, it can be a domestic pet, it can be a wild pet, no hard and fast rules. So here I'm just making it as a expected domestic pet, guys. Okay, So this I want to say here. So I will be saying expected domestic pet. Yeah, but this is only the pet. Okay, so we also want to make it as a pet here. So let me just save it. So this is pet, and yeah, this is something like this. So here let me see new of domestic pet. Okay, since we are not checking the data internally, hence we don't need to provide all the fields, but what I will just simply try to provide here is the owner part. Okay, so that if there is any issue, then also it doesn't fails. Okay, so let me just make it as an empty owner here. So let me write it like this, and here let me say new of owner. So within this I should be getting an owner also, and here what I will be doing is I will be saying expected this particular one, and here I will be saying set the owner, and yeah, this is going to be your owner. So this is how your test method going to look like: given, when, then. As simple as that. Okay, so this was your perfect scenario, or we can say the positive scenario. Then there needs to be a negative test case scenario also. For negative, let me just simply paste it here, and then let me show you how it is going to look like. This time I'm saying when owner does not exist, at that point of time you should be throwing pet not found exception. So again I'm saying that okay, pet ID is 1, it is just your test data. And here you are saying that okay, this time when I will be calling the pet repository, it should be returning me optional.empty. Now if it is returning you optional.empty, then there should be an exception message, and message should be like this: can't find pet with pet id. So here I'm hard coding it manually, but in the reality I'm getting it from this messages.properties file. Okay, and then I'm saying that okay, this time assert that thrown by. So whenever I will be calling this with this particular one, so first of all I'm saying that okay, it should be an instance of pet not found exception and having this particular message, and it needs to be verified that still the repository one has been invoked. Okay, so this is how it is going to look like. Now besides this, if you remember, we were having one more method here guys. Okay, and that method was for the average. Now currently see, in this particular one for the average, we are, believe me, not doing anything much. If we are getting the data, we are passing it back. If we are not getting the data, we are providing 0.0. So you don't want to test such methods. Okay, but still as a good practice, what we can do is we can provide these test cases for this also. Okay, and here just some dummy values we can provide later on. You can just read it how it is going to look like. Okay, but still let's simply, if we have made, so let's now check it whether our test cases are going to work or not guys. So I'll go here, let me say here as run as and JUnit test. So here we go, and yeah, let's see. So here what it says. Okay, so yeah, it says that okay, 4 test cases were there, all 4 are passing, and yeah, that's a good sign. So if that is working, now what left? So the next particular part left is that here this time we need to write the test cases for the repository IMPL also. Okay, so this service IMPL is done, and now comes my repository class. So for the repository class, as you remember, the number one thing which we need to tell here is the data JPA test. Okay, so this time it is not going to be simple. Here we need to say data JPA test. So this is done. Now after this is done, this time we need to provide a context. Okay, so by default, whenever the moment you are saying data JPA test, by default it start taking the complete context of the whole project, because of this particular thing. On your demo class, we were having Spring Boot application class, so it will start to initialize everything. But we don't want to initialize everything. We only want to initialize some of the classes which are related for this repository. So this repository, the Hibernate or internal data JP related classes, the entity classes, only those classes we want to initialize. So hence what we will be doing here is we will be creating a context configuration here. So I will be saying context configuration, and for this particular one we need to create a class. So here let's say classes, or here we can just simply say class, and here I will be saying something like this, that is test config. So let me write it like this, test config dot class. Obviously this class is not available, and hence it is showing us the error. And yeah, it says okay, this class is not there, it is classes. Okay, no worries, let me make it like this then, and it should be this. But yeah, this class is not there. So what we will do is, okay, if we are not getting the option here, so let me just simply make it here, or I can at least copy the name. At least this one looks good to me, that I should be able to copy this. So I will be copying it, I will go here, I will say a class, I will provide this particular thing, and on the package name I will say that okay, I just want to make it a config in this particular part. So yeah, I'll make a config there. And this is how my test config going to look like. Now within this, what I need to do, so I don't need to do anything much. I just need to say here at the rate configuration, and that's it, so that it start acting as a configuration guys class. Yeah, so this particular part is also done. Now after this, the next particular one, now after this, the next thing which you need to do is you need to provide the location of your repository layer. So that particular one needs to be provided. So for this, we will be saying enable JPA repositories, and here we will be seeing base packages. So this is how it is going to look like, and this is this particular one. For this, what I will do is I'll just go here and I will copy this particular thing. That is the package name of my repository layer. I will pass it here, and yeah, this is how it is going to look like. Next, so repositories, I mean repository layer you have done. The only thing left is your entity, so we need to scan the entity. Okay, so here we are scanning the entity, and here let me see my base packages again, something like this, and again this is how it is going to look like. Same thing I can copy paste, but what I will do is I will change the name to this entity here. Okay, so this is a number one change. So these four annotations you need to add, nothing else, only these four. If you will Google will provide you something, ChatGPT will provide you something, Gemini will provide you something. Believe me, these are the right annotations as per the latest code. You will say that, okay Bishek, you are not using the latest version. We will do that also, don't worry. Okay, I mean, but believe me, these are the correct data guys. Okay, so this is perfectly tested. I will show you that it is working. Okay, I'm not going to say that, okay, I will just code and then I won't show. Okay, that is not going to happen here. So here, but the only point which you need to do here guys is that you need to, I mean, support me a bit. Okay, see, these kind of videos take so much amount of time to, I mean, not only for the creation. First of all, I need to think that, okay, this can be a scenario that can be done, this can be done, and then you guys don't support that much. Okay, so then it feels a little bad. Okay, so don't do like that, support me a bit. Yeah, and what I will do here is, since, I mean, these methods are again same which I have done, so from that particular one, let me again just copy paste so that we can again focus on the main part. So let me see here this, let me see here this, and yeah, this is going to look like this. Okay, and now it says that, okay, this test data util, so this class is not available. What I will do is, again, this class is same which we created last time also. So let me go here and let me paste it like this. So test data util, where it went? Okay, it got created here. Let me just do a small thing. Let me say move it to this particular package, and yeah, it got moved to that particular one. And let me delete this particular one. Okay, so here what we are doing, I'm just making a test data util so that I don't need to do all these things again and again to create an object or test objects only. Okay, now here let me explain what I'm basically doing. So first of all, again, I have done given when then. Now here, the point number one which you need to understand is that there is no benefit of testing those methods which are getting provided by Spring Data JPA. I mean, you can't say that, okay, Spring Data JPA will make a mistake, hence I want to test the find by ID method which is provided by them. Okay, so nothing needs to be done. But the method which you created, it may can, I mean, create some kind of issues. Okay, so hence you only need to test these methods. Yeah, so again, we are saying given when and then, and this point of time, first of all, since we are interacting with the database, this is here it will be making usage of the dummy h2 database only. So you need to save some data there, otherwise it is going to be empty every time. So what we are doing, I'm just creating a domestic pet object, I'm saving it. Okay, I'm creating 2 3 domestic pet objects, I'm saving it, and let's see why it is saying, okay, it says this m and this particular thing is not available because these were static import guys. Okay, so hence these kind of issues keeps coming. So what I will do is I will go here on top and let me just somewhere, I mean anywhere I can add, so let me just simply add it here, and yeah, save. Okay, so this is done. So what I have done is, here I have invoked this method. Again, these methods are simple, I'm just creating test data. One option was that I could have invoked these same methods again and again, but then believe me, this will look bigger. So hence the shortcut is you make a separate method and just simply call it. Then we are saving in the repository. So first of all, we are saving, although we need to test the find method, we need to save the data. Then what I'm doing is, from these 3 saved pets, what I'm saying stream of, and then of this of, what I'm getting is I'm just getting their birth dates. So I'm getting all these 3 birth dates. Then I'm trying to find their average age. So I'm saying what is their average age so that I don't need to hard code the average age. So this will provide me the expected average age. Then here I will saying when the actual method which you want to test. So the actual method I want to test is find average age of pet. I'm not passing anything here. So this time you see everything whatever I used here, nothing is getting passed here. So what will happen is that this time it will query the database, but the moment it will query the database, all this data will be getting saved in your database. Okay, then after querying it will provide you some actual average age, and then we are checking whether it is present or not. If it is present, then is it closer to this particular value or not. Since it is double, we need to take help of this precision, because many times it happens that okay, here when you are calculating with the help of streams and something like this, so it will provide you point something, but from your SQL it will provide you some different point to here it is 0.3. Okay, I mean that will work up and that should not be any much issues. Okay, still it can be taken care. So that is done. For the other one, the second scenario is I'm saying when no pets exist. So when I want to test no pets exist, this time you see I'm not passing any data in the database. So this time when executing this, the database is going to be empty. So this data which you saved here will remain only till that touch point. Okay, here there won't be any amount of data. At this point it is going to be empty. So now when you will call this, it is going to be empty, and hence we are just checking, okay, is it empty? Yeah, it's done. Okay, that's good. Okay, so this way things are going to work guys for us. Okay, so this way we have written this part also, and let's just execute this one. So I'm saying JUnit test on this, and let's see. So you can see it is doing, and yeah, so this see, now you will say that okay Vishek, why is it again creating? So it is again creating because this time it is making usage of the H2 database, not your actual MySQL database. Okay, so this one is your H2 database, and here also you see H2 in memory database. So that was getting used, hence for that it first of all created the tables and everything, then it entered the data as per this, and then it did, and hence it is saying that okay, this is also getting tested. So yeah, this also looks good. Now what I will quickly do is that as you can see this owner service is empty, owner repository is empty. So let me simply add and fill the data in these two particular classes also, and then let's execute all the test cases together and see how it is going to look like. So now I have provided the data in the owner service IMPL test also. As you can see, everything has been filled, almost all the same annotations. I mean, see, for you to learn, the main part is this only, and then how to write the test cases, that I have already shown you. Then rest part is only copy paste. Same thing we have done for the owner repository IMPL. Now what I will do is I'll directly click on src test java and run everything. So all the test cases will run together for the owner as well as the pet, and this time I guess we will be able to get even much more better output here. So yeah, let's see. Okay, this is working. In the meantime, if you wish, you can subscribe to the channel, and also you can share it with your friends. In the meantime, you see all the 17 test cases have been working fine, and we are getting a green bar. Okay, this thing is done guys. We have already executed the code. One small thing to left was, okay, before doing that particular small thing, what we can do here is we will go to this particular one, and let's simply try to upgrade to this to the latest version. So the latest version is 3.4.1. But again, how to verify this? For this, let's go here, and here also if you see in this start.spring.io, let me just refresh the page. The latest complete version is 3.4.1. yeah, so we will come back here to this particular one, and I will upgrade it to 3.4.1. so this one I will be doing. So here when I do this, now you see that again it is, I mean, trying to calculate and doing all those things. Okay, but here it added, I mean, there was no errors as such, but it added a yellow line and somewhere on this particular src test java. Let's go and see what is happening there. So here it says that okay, this mock bean is getting deprecated. So from this some particular version, it got deprecated from version 340. We directly came to 3.4.1, but it got deprecated. So in such cases, what you can do is you can read out its documentation. So this particular documentation you can read, and then you can see what needs to be added if not this. Okay, so here somewhere it says that okay, instead of this you now should be making usage of mockito bean. So let's again go back here. So let me change it to as mockito bean, something this, and here also let me try to do something like this, and let's say control shift O, Control S. Let's again go back to this particular one, Control Shift O, Control S, and yeah, this part is also done, guys. Yeah, so these things can happen, but always it is not going to be that easy. That's why I say that always first of all execute your existing code, then make small changes, then execute the code, then again make small changes, execute the code. It's always better to execute your code again and again, guys. Okay, first of all, let's quickly see whether our code is still working fine or not. We won't be executing all the options, but just quickly see whether it's working or not. So with the latest version 3.4.1, it is working, and now you see with this new version it is started showing these details also. Okay, so this is just a small change. Okay, nothing much. Let's verify whether the age is looking good or not. Yeah, age is coming perfectly fine, which means all other options also should be working. Otherwise it's your job to test and let me know if you find there is any issues. Okay, but before that, I mean, just follow and watch the complete video. Okay, so this particular one is done. One last point, we need to create a jar file. Otherwise it's not a complete project till the point you don't make it. Okay, so let's say maven build, because I mean on the server what you will push, you can't push your whole code, you need to push a jar file. As of now I'm not showing you how to push, but at least let's create one. So here let's say clean package and hope there is no errors and nothing, and with that we can finish the video if that it looks fine. But the point is, this video, such videos, I mean, things take time, guys. Okay, these are not simple things that I can explain everything in a single video. Okay, if that is the thing, then I guess you also should be supportive to me. You should be able to subscribe. Still we are on 21st, and as you can see that we have not even reached to 10,000 subscribers. Okay, so today's recording date is 21, but this video will get released on 24. Now I'm not sure on which date you will be watching, but what you need to ensure is the moment you are watching, we should be able to cross 10,000 subscribers. That is up to you, and very soon the next series will also come, and that will be on Spring Rest. With this, let's quickly finish the Spring Data JPA series. Thanks everyone, and I hope you found it helpful. Bye bye.